Birdman Sports 24/7 podcast with Tim Birdman Simpson.
What is up, everybody? How you doing? It is your boy, the Birdman. For those who are like, hey, it's not the Birdman Show. No, it's not the Birdman Show. It's the Birdman Sports 247 podcast. That's what it is. As I'm sitting here trying to adjust my mic. I'm having all kinds of problems here, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, we're up in here, big pimping. I'm not really spending any cheese. I'm trying to eat some cheese. But you know, it is what it is. But yes, we are here, Birdman Show 24/7 podcast. I'm joined by my boy Hydro. You already know what to do. If you're part of the Birdman Show, you know we do the same thing here on the Birdman Show Sports Podcast. So why don't you go ahead and do it with us? That is right. Yo, what is up, Hydro? How you doing? Let's say what's up to you first.
I am doing fantastic. Back and I'm better. So let's do this thing.
Fabutabulous. Now I'm working on some things in the background here as well. We're live streaming to TikTok. Not only are we live streaming to TikTok, but we are also on the Birdman Sports Podcast 247 YouTube channel. And I'm currently working with and on streaming to Rumble, which is one of our newer platforms that we have. Like I said, Rumble is pretty cool, man. It's just like YouTube. But what I'll say about that, Hydro, is the simple fact is that it's a lot easier to monetize on Rumble. You can start monetizing from day one. It's really cool. You start running ads on it. Heck, you can even, if I remember correctly, you can even run ads where you can sell ad spots on your own stuff. So it's cool. I like it. So we're trying to give it a go. We're trying it out. It's a learning curve for me because it's a completely different platform, not one I'm used to. So I'm still trying to figure it out and get things going with it. But I'm doing, I guess I can say I'm doing better. But yeah. So we haven't seen you in a while, man. We haven't been on together, hadn't had a chance to be on together. So how's everything going with you? With everything going on?
Oh, everything is fantastic. It's been a long road, but I can say there's been people there for me, including yourself. So I've climbed the ladder, as they like to say. I've climbed that ladder, and I'm back and I'm better. New and improved, baby. Hydro is back, baby.
That's what I like. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, man. It's great. It's great to know you're doing well. Like I said, for anybody that's out there watching this on TikTok, this is kind of an impromptu. We're still trying to work out schedules as far as the Birdman Sports Podcast. Because I do have Hydro that's joining me as one of the co-hosts on here. In addition, I also have one of my co-hosts that will be joining me from my previous sports podcast show, which was entitled the Hey Coach Podcast. One of three co-hosts who were on there with me was a good friend of mine, Richard Collins, and another good friend of mine, Jamal Mondane. And Jamal Mondane, he's doing his own sports podcast now. It's called The X Factor. Definitely check him out on TikTok and let him know that the Birdman sent you over. He does a phenomenal job. Love that young man. Very happy what he's doing. So definitely go check that out. Especially if you run any type of fantasy league and you're wanting information on like fantasy picks and stuff like that, you know, and things to look out for. He's a dude you want to hit up. So go watch his X Factor over on TikTok. I do believe he's on YouTube as well. I know for sure he's on TikTok. Yeah, so actually right, you're watching for him. So check him out. But yes, Richard Collins is going to be the other co-host going to be joining us. So he's currently working with the VA because he's also a veteran. He and I served together up at Fort Drum, New York. But he's working with the VA. He's trying to get his schooling and stuff taken care of because he's going back to school. He's right now currently a teacher though. He's teaching. So he's trying to go back, get his doctorate, and do some other things. So we're just trying to work out the scheduling for that. And then once we get that done, it will be a more consistent basis of what we're doing here with the Birdman Sports 247. I'm excited about this new venture, especially getting back into the sports world. I love sports, and so this is probably one of my greater passions that I have in life. So I love getting on there talking sports in general with anybody. What's one thing you might be looking forward to with doing this sports podcast there, Hydro?
That's a great question. Man, I love me some football. It doesn't matter if it's college or if it's NFL. I love football, man. I get so excited. The neighbors hate me, but they also love me at the same time.
Dang, they hate you and love you at the same time, boy. You a good guy, man.
It's
You
because I
having
get I get so hyped you think the whole house is gonna come down, man.
Oh, okay. I see what it is. I see what it is. I am not even mad at you on that. I am not even mad at you on that.
One
Like I
thing
said,
one
go
thing
ahead.
I'm looking forward to though is just getting back into the mix of things, especially with football season right up on us this week. Matter of fact, this week,
Yeah,
this week I'm ready for it.
yeah.
Um I'm not too sure. Is there any NFL teams playing this Sunday?
I you know what? I haven't even looked at the schedule. So I don't even know. We'll look at the schedule here in a second. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with you on that. Of course, most headlines are being dominated by freaking um Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift getting engaged. Um, so there's that. Um, there's that. That's, that's there's that. Um, I'm not like I'm happy for them. Don't get it twisted. I'm happy for them. Hopefully it works out for the both of them. But I think I'm more happy for him the fact that hopefully Travis can actually focus on football. Um,
I
I
hope
I
so too.
I think that at times it felt like it was more of a circus last season with the Chiefs, and he was just not on the same page with Mahomes or anybody else.
Not at all.
So I hope for their sake, they can get back to Kansas City Chiefs football and start playing at the level that they've been playing at before. And it's not taken away from any other NFL teams because the Chiefs struggled the entire season last year. They struggled. They were not a dominant team. They showed flashes of it, but they were not dominant. So that speaks. I guess it could be a two-edged sword with that, a double-edged sword with that. Which it could say that hey, maybe they had the distractions. You could easily blame it on distractions with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. You could, but they also did have a lot of injuries. They didn't have completely the same team that they had the previous year when they won the Super Bowl. Um, they didn't look like the normal Kansas City Chiefs team. At the same time, it's still also you still cannot take away from what the rest of the NFL teams have done, and they all came up. I honestly, I personally, and I told somebody this a couple seasons ago, but I was like, the way the Philadelphia Eagles are playing, I think they're really one major piece offensively away from winning the Super Bowl. This is before the Saquon Barkley trade. And I was like, I think there's one offensive piece away from taking to the Super Bowl. Defense has played pretty steady, pretty well for the last few years. And when they got to say Saquon Barkley, I didn't immediately say, "Oh, that's a Super Bowl team." I didn't immediately say that because Saquon Barkley is great. He's a phenomenal running back. But at the same time, I've seen that play before. What I'm saying? I've been to the theater before, and the Philadelphia Eagles was one of the teams that did that with Andy Reid as the head coach. Because people forget Andy Reid had Don McNabb, they had Terrell Owens, they had that phenomenal defense. They went out and I mean they spent money on paper. They had like a John Madden created team where you just go in and you create players for every single position and you give them all 99 stats. You know what I'm saying? Where they got like that phenomenal, like they got the spectacular catch that's maxed out. They got the running, the block. Like, I mean, even your offense, even your freaking punter and kicker maxed out. That's what they look like on paper, and it did not translate into anything on the field. I know they made the playoffs. I don't remember if they won or if they got knocked out in the first game of the playoffs. or if they got knocked out the second. I can't remember. But I actually really liked that team. I really did like that team, and I've always been a fan of Andy Dalton. I'm not Andy Dalton, Andy Reid.
Andy Reid,
Andy
yeah.
Dalton. Good God, Andy Dalton. Heck no.
No, 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 no,
Not a fan. Um,
no, not at all. He played for the Saints. Nah.
yeah, he's played for all over the people. Can you not go live on sports show yet? I well, here's the thing with that one, Des. I can, but through the studio, it's only allowing me to connect to one. So I don't know if it's one. I don't. I hate to have to like disconnect from the Birdman show one and then have to. I don't have to do that every single time. So yeah, that kind of sucks on that part. But yeah. So right now it's only allowing me to go live on the Birdman sport or the Birdman show on TikTok. But yeah, I can actually go live on the Birdman show. So it might be one of those things where I do like little small like episodes, and I can say, hey, Shane, or especially if it's gonna be Shane and I, Hydro and I, if it's gonna be me and him, because yeah, Richard doesn't even have, I don't even think he has TikTok. He might have TikTok. I don't know. But anyways, if it's one of those things like, hey, let's get in the studio, blah blah, we might just go live on TikTok, and do that, and we just go live on the Birdman Sports Show. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, I would love if you could add multiple profiles on. Who knows? Maybe Shane, maybe that's something we need to work on. We need to work on a platform that will actually make you. Hey, don't anybody steal my idea. Maybe we need a work on a platform that will actually, if you have multiple accounts on a platform, allow you to sync those into a studio. That would be freaking phenomenal. Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll work that out. Anyways,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah. Since I am from Oklahoma and I am a Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I gotta give a shout out to them boys, man. Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
yeah.
They definitely did their thing. I was happy for. I'll be honest with you, and they said that this NBA championship was probably. I think they said it was one of the least watched when they talked about streaming and television, all that stuff. I was excited for it, and the reason why I was excited for it was because I'm tired of seeing some of these teams that they're going to the NBA finals. I'm tired of seeing them. I love LeBron, and I root for LeBron. And I'll be honest with you, I was never a really big LeBron James fan. I'm really not much of a fan of. I don't know how to say this. I absolutely love this guy. But when I looked at like my favorite players, he was not one of them. My favorite player all time is Allen Iverson. I'm not a huge Jordan fan, never have been. I was not a huge Kobe Bryant fan until after he retired. And I know it sounds messed up, but I became a huge fan of his after he retired and started doing the interviews. And when he started going on his tour, he was doing his interviews and he started talking about different things. I became a huge fan of his just because of his outlook on basketball, his outlook on how to really affect the games. I became a huge fan of his then. And then I found myself going back and rewatching a lot of his games. And I love him. Phenomenal, phenomenal guy. Um, like I said, my guy, and you can talk about GOAT all you want to. My GOAT is Allen Iverson. I love the dude. He gave the small guys definitely something to say, hey, I can do this. I don't know how tall I am. And Kobe Bryant, I don't know if you ever heard Kobe Bryant say this though, Hydro. Kobe Bryant said it one time. He said, when I look at Allen Iverson, if that dude was 6'6" and was able to is still doing the things that he was doing now, he said he would destroy the game.
Yes,
I mean, because
yes,
you think about
absolutely.
that. Okay, so let me put it this way. Think about putting Allen Iverson's skills, everything that dude can do, in the Tracy McGrady body.
Oh, that would be nasty.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, and Tracy, now don't get it twisted. Tracy was a bad, and people keep forgetting. They keep wanting to write Tracy off, keep trying to say Kobe Bryant was so dominant. Tracy McGrady was giving Kobe the business. And at that time, Tracy McGrady was talked about being the best player at the two position, and not even only at the two position, but in the NBA at that time. especially when he's playing for the Orlando Magic. When he came out after he left Toronto and went to Orlando, there was nobody touching Kobe. Couldn't touch him.
Mm-mm.
Nobody was
Absolutely
touching
not.
Tracy. So I mean, it's just one of those things, man. I love talking about this kind of stuff. And like we plan on talking about college football starting off, but we're just kind of going all over, man. Because it's just one of those things. That's what I kind of like about the sports. It almost has like a barbershop feel to it. Like you can start talking about one thing, and the next thing you know, that one conversation or somebody says something that sparks to a whole different conversation. But we are going to try to keep somewhat of a format here for a little bit here. Anyways, we'll try.
Uh,
We'll try.
right there on my shelf. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about basketball. Right there on my shelf. Shout out to my mom and grandma. They actually bought me a shirt, and it came with confetti from the locker room of them winning the championship game.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so it has confetti from the locker room in it. It's lit, man.
that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That is pretty cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I always love it. I mean, like, hey, I'm the same way. When my Celtics won, the most times they won, since I've been a fan, I've loved it every single time. So I get it, man. And then like I said, I'm excited for OKC because their first championship. They had a phenomenal team. SGA is just. I always thought he was going to be a problem. And I told one of my players, I said, whenever he starts realizing how dangerous he really is, there's not going to be anybody going to be able to stop him. I do feel for the Pacers, especially with Halliburton going out with that injury.
That was
I think,
nasty.
yeah, I think I think that's what kind of sealed the deal for. Okay, when I've seen that, I was like, yep, it's done, it's over, it's good, it's good run, guys, good run, good. Because I mean, those two going at each, oh man, I was excited for it for the young guns, excited for it. I'm excited to see what's going to happen this season with all the different moves. We're going to get into a little bit more of that here in a little bit. But let's talk college football. Okay, let's talk some college football.
Oh yeah.
Now, the college football rankings came out. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull this up here real quick.
Roll Tide, baby, roll Tide.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Oh my god.
You should have known that was coming.
Yeah, I know. Freaking Bama boys.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna see. I don't know if this is gonna let me. Hopefully, everybody can see that. I'm waiting for it to pop up on TikTok. There it is. Yeah, it's decent enough. Okay, because I can't really enhance that. But it's coming off the ESPN ranking. This is top 25 APA. This is also the college coaches poll. So we're gonna see. We're gonna look at some things now. It's always funny. The top five. And honestly, when you talk about the top maybe 6 or 7, they're always interchangeable. Always. I mean, the top 10, you can say that safely about the top 10. But normally, when you get to the top, when it's the top 7, you'll find, and I've seen this in every single college poll, the last, I'm gonna say 10 years. Top 7, there might be, when you talk about the AP top 25 and then the coaches poll, there are always like 2 or 3 that are flip flopped. But they're like right there. So we're looking at it right now. They got Texas number one in the AP poll, and they're also number one in the coaches poll. Now here's where it starts already off the bat, Hydro. Number 2 for the top 25, they've got Penn State, but for the coaches poll, they've got Ohio State, and then you look down, Ohio State number 3 for the top 25, and Penn State top or number 3 for the coaches poll. So looking at that, let's look at the top 3 for right now. Looking at that right now, would you? I mean, do you kind of agree with kind of what's going on with the top 3 with the positioning? What are your thoughts on the top 3?
I agree with the coaches poll. I believe that Ohio State should be number 2. They're a phenomenal team.
Mhm.
They bring that energy. Um, I'm not a fan of them, but I do like their energy. They are a great team. A great team, man.
Yeah.
That coach be digging off in them, man.
Yeah, and no, not in a Diddy way either.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Pause.
no Diddy.
Pause. 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 Hey, yo.
I don't worry. I do plan on doing an episode on the Birdman show on the Diddy case. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do an episode on the P Diddy trial and all that stuff.
Is there
Uh,
an episode tonight?
yes, we have an episode. It's women's mental health. It's part two.
I will
Yeah.
I will definitely be there.
All right, bet. Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. Where's it at? So yes, tonight on the Birdman Show podcast, tonight 6 p.m. Central Time, we'll be doing part two of women's mental health. It was a wonderful episode last week. Recap was even, I would say, the recap was right on par with it. We actually Hydro for the first time did a full episode from start to finish on the recap of an actual recap. Um, yeah,
Oh,
two
wow.
hours, 2 hours.
That's history in the making right there.
Yeah, 2 hour recap. That is actually a recap. But yeah, it was great. And we're doing a part two. There's probably about four points left that we didn't cover on the first part. And that's from the suggestions from the ladies that were on there. But I also have my own suggestion or my own topics that we're gonna be doing tonight. So there are gonna be some curveballs. I'm gonna say it now. It may sound like I'm trying to be mean on there. I'm not, because these are a lot of questions that some women deal with, but they just don't have anybody to talk to them about. So
Absolutely.
I'm trying to pull these topics out of these ladies, to try to get them to help some of these women that may be dealing with some of the same stuff. So that's tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time. If you're on TikTok, come right back here. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's I have it
Uh-oh.
here somewhere. Here it is. No, that's not it. Well, I mean, kind of. Um, yeah, but you can go there, YouTube at Birdman Show Podcast 9643. Like I said, TikTok right here. Birdman Show. That's Ace's TikTok. But where is it? I mean, yeah, okay, that's fine. It'll work with that. I don't care. Um, but yes, that's gonna be tonight. Definitely looking forward to that. That's gonna be a lot of, I would say, a lot of fun. It's fun because we get a chance to talk. I get the chance to learn more about these the women that are on here with us, which are all they're all good friends. Um, but like I said, for the panelists, it's of course myself, Ace, Def Light's on there, Britt, Lady Phoenix, and Spicy Cass. If you haven't had a chance to check out Spicy Cass, their Hydro, she's freaking hilarious. Oh my god,
I'll
freaking
be there
hilarious.
tonight too, baby.
Yes, definitely. It's a great time. All right, so
Back to your
I'm
top three.
yeah, I'm with you on the top three. Now I can kind of I can see, why maybe the AP top 25 maybe went with Penn State. But I do agree. I think Ohio State probably should have got that nod. But they're both excellent schools. Texas is really good. And if they decide to give over the reins to Arch Manning, and fully give him the reins, they're going to be a pretty tough team. He proved himself last season, in stepping into the spotlight and being able to take control of that team. And I think he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback. He's gonna make that Texas team a very tough team to beat. The defense is still stout. They're really good, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now let's talk four through. Let's just go ahead and talk 4 through 10. Okay,
4 through 10.
yeah, you got and what I'll do is the first name I'll read off is going to be the AP top 25, and then you're going to Coaches Poll. Okay. So at number 4, you got Clemson for the top 25 and Georgia for the Coaches Poll. What do you think? What are your thoughts on those two?
I really think that I agree with the coaches poll again, because the dog pound, baby, that's something to be reckoned with.
Arrgh.
Oh, the dog pound, baby.
They got them dogs, literally.
Once again, um, up until now, I really haven't been a Georgia fan. Hey, I'm a diehard Alabama fan, but this year
Yeah,
I'll be watching Alabama and the dog pound, baby. I love their
yeah,
energy, man. I
yeah.
love the energy they bring, man.
And those two, you bring up Alabama, who they're gonna be down here on this list a little bit further. Those two have had some epic matchups against each other. I mean, some seriously epic. And the thing is, I'm like you. I was never really a big Georgia Bulldog fan, but after watching them, especially going against Alabama, because I, I've had a tough time at times with some of the Alabama teams. I just have had a tough time with some of them. I'm like, dang, like you got all the blue chippers on your team. Like, god dang, can somebody else get blue chippers too? But anyways, no, I understand it. But they've had some epic match, but those Georgia teams, especially their defensive players they've gone to the NFL. Like they have been, and I mean they've been up the top for. I mean, what last 6-7 years, if not more. They've been up there. So they've got a nice little program going. So I'm very intrigued to see what's going on with them. Now at the number 5 spot, Georgia slips in the actual AP top 25. They're actually at number 5 there. And on the coaches poll, they got Notre Dame at number 5.
I think Notre Dame should be actually. Texas is a phenomenal football team. Do they
Mhm.
play anybody that's actually of notable worth? Not really. Notre Dame, though, we need to go ahead and stick them at number one.
Okay, why you say that?
Bro, Notre Dame, they go out there, they play smash mouth football. Their uniforms are on point, but that's not really something to write
I
them off about number one.
I
But
don't know. Maybe I mean some uniforms, man. There's some teams that I watch just because of their uniforms.
Oregon,
Yeah, Oregon having some smack. Hey, whoever's their designer, man, for real. That fool he probably on at Fashion Week, in Milan.
that's actually my number 3 team I'm watching this year is the Oregon Ducks.
Okay, yeah, they used to have some pretty good teams. All right, but you're saying Notre Dame because of like who they're out, like the teams that they play.
Yes, I love how they bring the same energy every single time they play smash mouth football. The coach is amazing. They go out there, they give it their all. That's all that I've seen from that team.
Okay, I mean I
Plus,
can not.
plus, let's not forget about that movie they made called Rudy. I don't know if you remember that,
Yeah, yeah,
dude.
I love
They've
that
been
movie.
they've been doing it for a long time, man.
Yeah,
They've been
they
going hard in
have.
the trenches for a long time.
Yeah, they have. That was a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good movie. Okay, so number 6. Now Notre Dame in the AP poll, they have them at number 6. And then over on the coaches poll, it's Clemson. So Clemson went from number 4 in the AP poll to dropping all the way to number 6 in the coaches poll. Um, so at the number 6 spot, I mean, we just talked about Notre Dame at number 5 in the coaches poll, but now we're talking about number 6 in AP top 25. What are your thoughts on that spot right there?
So prior years, I would say Clemson don't even deserve to be on the board, but I seen what they did last year, so they deserve to have a spot up there. But I'm not saying this just because I'm an Alabama fan or an Oregon fan.
There you go.
They need to be. Oh yeah, kind of. They need to be below Oregon and Alabama.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you, Clemson is tough. They are tough. It's one of those things where you kind of have to ask yourself, which Clemson team is going to show up. Um, if the Clemson team shows up that can play with the players they have, they are a playoff team and they are a dangerous team once they get in the playoffs. They could end up really probably knocking some people off. So I don't. They're tough. That's a tough team. So it'd be interesting to kind of see what's going to happen with them. I like I
Same
said.
thing.
Go ahead.
Same thing for Alabama, man. It's which
Yeah,
team's gonna show up.
yeah, that's very true.
Ever
And here's
ever since ever since Nick Saban left, it's been which Alabama team's gonna show up.
Yeah. Well, they've got to try to find their identity. And we're gonna talk about them here in a second. Now here's the crazy thing. Now, number 7, 8, 9, and 10 actually actually for number 7 through
10.
13, no, 12. 7 through
Yes.
14, they have the same, both rankings are the same across the board.
Yeah.
So number 7, you have Oregon, Alabama, LSU, and Miami. Let's concentrate on those teams right there to finish off the top 10. So they got Oregon, who just mentioned a few seconds ago, at number 7. What are your thoughts on them being at number 7?
They earned that spot.
I mean, I agree.
They're there for a
Okay.
reason.
Uh, is yeah, I agree with that. I just when it comes to this top 10, I'm be honest with you. I'm looking at this top 10. Like I said, we're finishing off the top 10. We got 7, 8, 9, 10. You got Oregon, Alabama, LSU, Miami. Any of those teams are more than capable of winning the national championship this year.
Definitely.
They are more than capable. What Miami's been doing these last few years, is it's like they're bringing back the old school Miami Hurricanes. You know, I'm talking about Jimmy Johnson Hurricanes. They bringing in boys back. I'm talking about dude, and those old Miami Hurricane teams, fam. If you've never watched the old Hurricane games, like I'm talking about like the mid '90s, early '90s, mid '90s, those teams were tough.
Definitely.
Those teams were tough. So what they're doing there has been really great. So I'm hoping that they continue that. Um, what are your thoughts on the rest of that as you're looking at that? Like I said, you got Oregon, Alabama, LSU, and Miami. What are your thoughts on those spots there?
I'm not really sure how LSU got such a high ranking, but it's not me that's doing the ranking.
It's a respect thing. They've been pretty darn good over the last 6 years or so.
I
I,
mean, yeah, I guess if I'm not speaking from an Alabama perspective, which I got to get out of doing that, they have been doing pretty good until they play Alabama.
yeah. There's that.
I got a question though.
What's
Out
up?
of that top 10, who do you think has the toughest schedule out of all of them?
I haven't looked at any of their schedules. Let me do this. Let's see. So if we're looking at scheduling, okay. So for Texas schedule, regular season schedule for 2025, their regular season schedule, they open up good God, in 3 days
Yeah.
against Ohio State. So they got Ohio State, San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston, Florida, who's ranked 15th. Then they follow that up with a number 18th ranked Oklahoma. Then they go to Kentucky.
Ooh.
Uh, they go to Kentucky. They go to now the thing is the Florida game they're playing in Florida. They're playing at home against Oklahoma. They go to Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt. Then they got well, if everything holds, the fifth ranked um, Georgia Bulldogs at Georgia. Then they play Arkansas. Then they finish up with Texas A&M, who's ranked 19th. That's a pretty respectable. I think it's a respectable schedule for the most part because they're open up with a top five team, actually top three team in Ohio State. So that's tough.
I might
That
have
is,
to watch that game.
yeah, I think I will be watching that game. So that's gonna be tough. Their schedule is decent. Now, if we look at Penn State, so right now they got Penn State, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so Penn State, if we're looking at their schedule once again. Okay, so now Penn State is where I kind of have a tough time with because they play some cake schools at times. So they're opening up with Nevada at home. Then they play FIU um, at home once again. I think it's the following Saturday. Then they play. Hey, actually, their first 5 games are at home. So they play Nevada, FIU, Villanova, and then they play Oregon at home. Then they
That's
go
their first
to
hard game.
yeah. So then they go to UCLA, which could be a tough game because UCLA has been playing pretty decent the last few years. Northwestern, who's that they can always be, they're always a tough team. They're always a tough out. But Penn State should win that game. Then they go to Iowa, which that's going to also be another tough game. But then they followed up. Now they follow up with Ohio State.
They're not winning that one.
Nah, I don't think they're going to win that one. Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, and then they finish up the season with the Rutgers.
Nebraska, that might be a game to watch too.
Yeah, because Nebraska they've been playing pretty good. I don't know. I can't remember what their coaching situation is, but
He's on a 3-year right now. I can't remember his name, but this is his 3rd year coaching. So
mhm.
if he doesn't give them a good season, he's out of there.
Yeah, it don't take much for them to get out of there. Now, oh Jesus, they're really seriously we're talking about the Travis Kelce crap already over here. Come on, people. Anyways, this is Ohio State. The Buckeyes, of course, like we already said, they open up with Texas at home. And then they play Grambling. Like I love my HBCUs. I love y'all there, but come on, y'all playing Texas. See, that's and I'll get into that here. I'll get into that second here in a second too. But then they got Ohio, Washington, which I'm not. Washington's been decent. I just don't know how they're looking for next season. Minnesota, 12th ranked Illinois, Wisconsin, which is I don't was Wisconsin ranked last year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. They were. I don't think they were either. Okay,
Yeah, I'm pretty
but
sure they were not ranked last year.
yeah, and then they play Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan. Now, Ohio State, they play 1, 2, 3. They only play 4 top 25 teams. And actually, all top 25 teams they play are 14 or better.
I think the only 2 tough games for them are going to be Texas and Penn State. If you want my personal opinion, maybe UCLA. Depends on how they're looking this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Texas, Penn State, see they're playing at Illinois. That could be a dangerous game for them. And then playing at Michigan, I think is going to be another dangerous game. Because number one, that's a rivalry game. And those two teams hate each other.
Mm.
Not dislike, not can't stand, not just don't tolerate. They hate each other.
It's about to get nasty this year.
Yeah, we've got a bit like Lil Wayne said, about to get nasty, pork rinds. But it's I don't know, man. That could be a tough game for them. But we'll see. Now this is the Clemson Tigers. They open it up with LSU at home. Then they
I'll
play
be right back,
Troy.
bro.
Yeah, go ahead. Then they play Troy. They got Georgia Tech, Syracuse, North Carolina, Boston College, SMU, Duke, Florida State, Louisville, Furham, and then South Carolina. Now, looking at their schedule, they've only got they got LSU, who's top 10. They're ranked 9th currently. They got SMU, who's ranked 16th currently, and then they've got South Carolina, who's ranked 13th currently. So they've only got 4, 3. Yeah, they only got 3. They're only playing 3 ranked teams. So looking at their schedule, it doesn't seem like there's a lot that they have to really worry about. There's not a lot. I'm not gonna say they have to worry about, but there's not right now. There's not a lot that presents them a challenge. LSU is definitely gonna be a tough game, just because those teams they don't really like each other either. So that's gonna be a tough game. So this is gonna really kind of test how people are gonna be doing for the rest of the season. But then they follow up with Troy, who shouldn't be a problem for them. Georgia Tech, they've got a pretty decent team, could be a problem, but they should still be able to handle that. Same thing with Syracuse, North Carolina, Boston College, SMU. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Duke, probably not. They probably shouldn't have any issues. Florida State should be a scary game for them. They better be on point. Florida State usually has some really good athletes, and I mean when I say really good athletes, I'm talking about they've got dogs on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And they're not just big, but they're also fast. So Florida State should be it should be one of those games where not like, oh, we gotta be so worried, but they should definitely make sure they're playing their best football when they go to play Florida State. LSU, and Furham, that definitely should be a good, nice little easy win for them. And then South Carolina could be another tough game. They're ranked 13th for a reason. They are a pretty good program. So it'd be interesting to see how that team is going to turn out. Um, and yeah, so it's just I don't know. It'd be kind of that's going to be an interesting schedule. Like I said, they're only playing 3 top ranked teams on their schedule. Everybody else is not ranked, so it still seems to me more of a cake schedule when it comes to these guys. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that, or you want to just go ahead and move on to the next one?
Since I just came back, we can go ahead and move on to the next one.
All right. Okay. So that was Clemson. Let's talk Georgia. Let's talk Georgia football. Now Georgia, yeah, they've got let's see, one, two, three, four, five. They've got 5 ranked opponents. Okay. So they're starting their season off with Marshall at home. That should be an easy win. Austin Prairie, that should be an easy win. Then they go to Tennessee. Tennessee's ranked 24th, which I think that's a deserving rank for them. But that's not a guaranteed win because they're playing at Tennessee, and it's tough to play down there. So that should be a game to keep an eye on. Then they go see or they play at home, play your Alabama Tide that are currently ranked 8th. They play them, then they go to Kentucky, or they play at home against Kentucky. Then they go to Auburn, play at home against LSU, who's ranked 21st in the nation right now. They play at home again against Florida, who's ranked 15th. Then they go to Mississippi State. They play at home against Texas. Play at home again. They finished their last 3 games at home: Texas, Charlotte, and Georgia Tech. You have any thoughts on this schedule for the Georgia Bulldogs?
It seems like they got a pretty cake schedule to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you got Tennessee, Alabama, Ole Miss, who that's a tough team almost every year. Seems like Florida, who you still cannot sleep on, and then of course Texas. Um, I would say outside the ranked teams, um, there's only 2 teams I would even say I would even remotely kind of say, hey, you might want to keep an eye on that, and that's Georgia Tech and Auburn. Um, that's those are only 2 teams in that schedule that I would really say. Now, I'm not saying nothing about these other schools because this is why we play the games. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. So it doesn't really matter who the team is. If you don't show up to play, that other team can blow you out the water.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Like I mean, this is why we watch the games. Well, I would say why we play the games. I ain't playing. Ain't nobody hitting me like that.
Yeah. Hell no.
I'm gonna be like Billy Blanks on Last Boy Scout.
Yo.
If you don't know if you ever seen that movie, you go watch the movie. I'm not gonna explain it. I ain't trying to get knocked off the channel. But yeah, so yeah. So I don't know that they've got it's an interesting schedule. I'll just say it that way. That's when it comes to a lot of these teams. Like I get frustrated with some of these teams with their schedules because some of them they come out and they're like, oh my god, they're undefeated, but it's like, okay, who they play? Oh, they only played 2 ranked teams. Like, come on, or like that one, they only played 3 ranked teams, and then they barely even won that game. You know what I'm saying? So come on, I mean, it is what it is. All right, now we're talking Notre Dame, Fighting Irish. I love their uniforms. I've always loved their uniforms. I've been a fan of Notre Dame since Rocket Ishmael.
Mm.
I don't know if you remember him. Tony Rice. Tony Rice, Tim Brown. They had Ishmael. They had Ishmael. Okay, let me put it this way: Rocket Ishmael. The Ishmaels were a lot like the Lockets for K State. So Ishmaels for Notre Dame were a lot like the Lockets for K State. Every single year since I think I've seen K State football. I think since freaking 92, there's been a Locket on there. I'm like, dude, has this dude never graduated? Like, is he this? I mean, is he stupid or what's going on here? And then come to find out, they just had a lot of kids, um, or something, or just had multiple people. But no, same family and everything. But yeah, it seemed like there was always a freaking Locket on that team. But yeah, we're talking Notre Dame football now. So they're opening up at Miami. Right now, Miami's ranked 10th. They play Sunday on ABC. And then they followed up at home against Texas A&M, who's ranked 19th. So this is the first team I've seen that's starting their season off with back-to-back ranked opponents. Notre Dame is. And then they play Purdue, they're not ranked, that's a tough team. That's a tough team. Arkansas is still a tough team. And then Boise State, they're playing at home against them. They go to they play at home against NC State. USC, which is a team not many people are talking about, but they're still a tough team. I don't care. They're still a tough team. They go see my boys up in Boston College, and then they got a cake one with Navy. Pitt, they're playing at Pitt. Then they come back at home, play Syracuse, and they finish off the season at Stanford. What are your thoughts on that schedule for the Notre Dame? Notre Dame.
That's actually low key kind of a tough schedule.
I was thinking that.
That's a real tough schedule.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at these teams, I mean, even the non-ranked teams have been playing fairly well the last couple of years, and majority of them are returning. Majority of their starters. So like I said, if you're just looking at the non-ranked teams, they got 1, 2, 3. They've only got 3 ranked opponents they're playing. And they're starting off the season with 2 of them. But if you're looking at the non-ranked opponents, they got Purdue, Purdue, Arkansas, NC State, USC, and I'll say, Syracuse and Stanford. So 6 of those teams have the potential of winning against Notre Dame.
Yeah, Navy might be able to do something. You never know.
They might. Listen, I'm Army through and through, and I watch the Black Knights anytime they're on.
Yep.
But Navy actually has a passing game. Army does not. And so it does. It's tough. The Navy does. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't really think they will, but if you don't play, you don't gonna play. Like we said before, if you don't gonna play, any of these teams can beat any team. So I do agree with you. I think it's kind of a low key. I'm not gonna say tough schedule, but it's a schedule that you must make sure you're paying attention to if you're a Notre Dame player and coach. You need to make sure you're paying attention to the schedule because there's some teams on there that could cause you some problems. Okay, we're looking at, let's see. So okay, so we got Oregon next. Origami. Now this you gotta be kidding me. This is their schedule?
Now they have an easy schedule.
Oh my god, they've got okay, so they're opening their season up at home against Montana State. Then they come back and play Oklahoma State, which you can't look past Oklahoma State. That game's going to be on CBS and Paramount Plus, by the way. Then they go to Northwestern. Can't really look past them. Oregon State. Those 2 teams always play each other pretty hard. And then they got Penn State. They got to go play at Penn State. That's going to be on NBC and Peacock. Then they come back home, play against Indiana, who's ranked 20th right now. The Rutgers Wisconsin at home. Iowa. They go to Iowa. They come back home, play Minnesota, and then they stay at home, play USC, and then they go on the road and play Washington to finish off. Woo! Um, yeah, that's. I don't like their schedule.
I don't either. That's a pretty cush schedule.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. That's yeah, that's softer than baby poo. Um, yeah, I did say that. I said it's softer than baby poo. I don't like that at all.
Nah,
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend much time talking about that because there's not much to talk about.
no, not at all.
So
Besides that, it's an easy schedule.
yeah, so I'm not really thrilled with you, Oregon. Okay, let's talk about your roll tie there, Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yes, sir.
Um, okay, so let's look at their what the freak. They got 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 4, 5. They've got 5 ranked opponents, but majority of their ranked opponents don't come until the end of the year. And they play 1, 2, 3, 4. They play four of the 5 they play in a row.
Now, you do got to watch out for Florida State, our very first game.
Yes.
They have been talking so much crap that it's not even funny, bro.
Yeah,
It's going to
they
be a
have.
vicious game.
Well, I think Florida State and Alabama match up pretty well with each other.
Oh yeah.
Both they have big bodies on both sides of the football. For both teams. They're both pretty fast. Um, I think what's gonna be the real ultimate decision is the quarterback and the receiver one positions on both sides.
And see, I
Um,
can't even say much about our quarterback because it's his first year starting.
yeah, so I think it's gonna be interesting. That game's gonna be an interesting game. I think I definitely want to check that game out. That's gonna be a very interesting game. Now UL Monroe, for those who know, that's University of Louisiana Monroe. Um, that's going to be a cake game. That'd be like your high school varsity team playing against the seventh graders of the middle school. Um, it's going to be a pretty cake game. But then they play Wisconsin, and you can't look past the Badgers. And then of course that rivalry game with them in Georgia. It's always a must watch game.
Oh yeah,
When those two teams get into the same stadium, that is a must watch game.
that's a
So
bloodbath right there.
yeah, so I'm very intrigued about that game. But then they come back home, they play, and they're playing in Georgia at the boot.
At the dog
Um,
pound.
yeah, yeah. But then they come back home, they play Vanderbilt, they go back on the road, they play Missouri. Ooh, they play Missouri. Huh. I might try to see about getting tickets to that game.
Uh oh,
But
I might have to as well.
that's right in my backyard. Um, that's cool. Okay, so and then they come back home and they play Tennessee. Back on the road, play South Carolina. Then they're back at home for the next 3 games. They play against LSU, who's ranked 9th, Oklahoma, who's ranked 18th, and then Eastern Illinois, who's only ranked in their family's hearts. Um, My bad. I'm sorry for the families. You guys are wonderful, wonderful kids. And then they finish up on the road against Auburn. What are you laughing about?
This shit was funny, bro.
Just saying, man. I'm just saying.
It's only
Um,
ranked in their family's hearts,
yeah,
bro.
that's a good place to be ranked, man. It's a good
Put it
place to
on
be
a
ranked.
shirt. Put it
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
shirt.
Ranked in my family's hearts, man. And hearts and minds. That's what we're doing. Um, yeah, that's what we're doing here. Ranked in the hearts and minds of those kiddos. So happy for you. Anyways. uh but then like I said, they finish up on the road against Auburn. I know you have some thoughts on the schedule.
um, I think any team um on the schedule could give us a run for our money, except for L.A. Monroe. But you never know, though. It's a new Alabama. It's a new era. You just never know. It
Yeah,
really depends on which Alabama shows up to play.
yeah,
Because I feel like since Nick Saban left, a lot of the players are like, "Oh, well, we're Alabama. I'm wearing the Alabama logo on me," but they don't want to earn that logo. They don't
no,
want to earn that shit, bro. I mean, excuse me. They don't want to earn that.
no. I feel you. I mean, I definitely cannot argue um with what you're saying there. Um, I mean, it's just there's nothing to really. I mean, you can't really like for real though. I think that's a problem with a lot of teams. This is not just it's not just college. It's even somebody in NFL. I think there's a lot of problem with a lot of them is that they think because they're wearing a uniform, or whatnot, the name of this on there, or sometimes even the coach that they can just cakewalk. You know what I'm saying? Do everything they're doing, and that's just not the case. You have to show up. You have to play. You have to do your job to ensure that your team is in the best position to win. If you're not, if you're just relying on the fact that people see your name and they're gonna shudder in their boots like as if the Avengers when they first meet Thanos, like that's not it. It's not it. So you have to be on your game when it comes to that. Um, I do, like I said, there are some teams that are on here that are worrisome for me when it comes to Alabama. Um, because I will say this: no one's scared of Alabama anymore,
No.
especially since Nick Saban's not there. They don't have the same leadership.
Nope.
Not to say they don't have the same great team. They do have great teams, and top athletes are still coming there because it's Alabama. But they may not be coming there as much because no Nick Saban.
Yep.
Um, but the fact that no teams are really scared of Alabama, um, it does cause some concern even with some of these other teams.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and Vanderbilt's been pretty decent.
They won last year against us.
That's right, they did.
Alabama didn't show up to play.
That is right. Wow, I
OU.
completely forgot about. Yeah,
OU showed up to play that night.
yeah,
We
they
didn't.
smacked them. Yeah, they smacked y'all. Yeah,
Yeah.
they smacked y'all pretty good.
I
Yeah,
mean, every team on here besides a couple, man, bro, especially South Carolina, they gave us a run for our money too.
yeah, that was a good game last season.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was quite a few teams on there. They showed up to y'all like
What's up?
it
What's
sound
happening?
like somebody was lathering up some baby oil and the old diddler came through. Um,
Ah,
take that. Can't stop, won't stop.
hell no.
Ah. Oh, I'm just playing. I'm sorry about that. I apologize.
No, that's
No,
all good.
not
It's
really.
all good.
All
It wouldn't
right.
be a
Okay.
sportscast if there wasn't some shit talking.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have a little bit. Okay, so now we're talking LSU. LSU, they've got let's see, they've got
Boo!
Ole Miss, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma. So they've got five ranked opponents. They're starting their season off in Death Valley, going against Clemson. That's gonna be on ABC this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Then they come back home and play Louisiana Tech. Then they're back home again. Matter of fact, the next three games are at home. Louisiana Tech, Florida, who's ranked 15th right now. Then they go play Southeast Louisiana. They just love playing the Louisiana teams, don't they?
Oh yeah.
They're like, yeah, let's get some good wins here. Let's go play all the Louisiana teams. Then
That's a pretty
they're
tough schedule.
yeah. So far, I mean, you got Clemson, then you break it up with an easy game. Supposedly, I'll say supposedly. Then you come back and play a tougher opponent in Florida, and then you break it up with a supposed another easy game against Southeast Louisiana. Then you come back and play another tough opponent. Matter of fact, you play. Ooh, actually, you play. Ooh, Their schedule after they play Southeast Louisiana, they play Ole Miss at Ole Miss. They come back
Mm,
home, play South Carolina, play Vanderbilt,
mm.
who couldn't be a tough team, Texas A&M, who's going to be a tough team,
Oh yeah.
Alabama, and Arkansas.
Yikes.
Then they play Western Kentucky, and then they finish up with Oklahoma. They actually have a pretty tough stretch there after they play against that Southeast Louisiana squad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They've got some potential games that could falter. They could falter in and drop those games to where they can come out on either side of the. So that's right now they're looking like they have, to me, looking at it on paper, depending on how the teams play. I mean, they have a pretty tough schedule,
Yes, they do.
potentially. But it really, once again, just kind of depends on who shows up, for what teams. So yeah, I don't know. You have anything else you want to add on that schedule?
No, it's just a real tough schedule. Good luck to them.
Wow, wow. That's crazy. That's probably one of the tougher schedules I've seen so far, at least in my
Glad I'm
opinion.
not an LSU fan.
Right. And then ran off the top 10, we got Miami. Okay, so Miami, looking at them. Okay, they've got. God dang it! Would you stop? Okay, so they've got Notre Dame.
Tough game.
What is that? Brethren? I can't see it. I have my glasses on.
Bethune Cookman.
Bethune. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bethune Cookman. That's it. Bethune. Um. That's why I was. 'Cause I remember always making that. I always remember making fun of that name, like the Bethune.
Bethune.
Get that Bethune Bethune. But
Bethune,
anyways,
Bethune, Bethune.
yeah. So they play Bethune Cookman, South
Bethune.
Florida,
That
and
could
they
be
just
a
kind of.
tough game.
Yeah, it could be. But they just decided to stay in South Florida. They started staying in Florida for the most part. Because we're Miami, so but they got um I actually don't mind this kid because they don't have to travel very far for
Mm-mm.
like 3 weeks. Because they play South Florida, Florida, and Florida State. Now, all three of those games, South Florida, Florida, and Florida State, could be tough games. And once again, it just depends on who shows up and plays.
They will be tough games. I
Because
promise you.
South Florida, they got a pretty decent program down there. And if they show up, because if Miami even remotely tries to look past them, looking at Florida, they can end up losing to South Florida.
Guaranteed.
So that's a game they're going to be careful on. Then of course you got Florida and Florida State. Florida State, I'm telling you, even though they're not ranked right now, if everything comes together for them, they've got some tremendous athletes on both sides of football.
If they beat Alabama for the first game, I'm an Alabama fan. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But if they do beat Alabama for their very first game, you know how much confidence they're about to have for the rest of the season?
I'm just saying
They could come out and win the championship.
they could. It's
I'm
possible.
just saying. Just saying.
It's definitely possible.
Better
But
watch
then,
out, Alabama.
yeah, better. I think nah, I'm not gonna do it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna do it. But then they come back home. They're playing against they got the next two games. They got the next two games at home. LSU, Stanford, of course, once again. Could be some tough games for them. Louisville has actually been playing decent. Then they go to SMU, back home for the next two games, Syracuse, and then NC State, and then on the road for the last two games against Virginia Tech and Pitt. So even though their last four games are not ranked opponents, those are also still pretty tough opponents.
Yes, they are.
hmm Okay. Do you have any other thoughts on this schedule?
No, they better just watch out, man, because there is some teams on there that got a lot to prove. They got a lot to prove.
Yeah, they definitely do. Now we did have let's see, week one started with
Ooh, I gotta
was
take a leak.
Iowa
I'll be right
State.
back.
Yeah, go ahead. At Iowa State and Kansas State. Now that game was played in, I think it was in Dublin, Ireland, I believe. Which I'm still a little confused about. Why would you have Kansas State and Iowa State playing in Ireland? I think you'd have a much better viewership if you'd had Notre Dame playing in Ireland. Um, I mean, the Fighting Irish. Hello. I mean, that game pretty much sells itself. So I don't understand what was going on with the thinking on that. Maybe they're just, I guess, trying to get um more people just to, I guess, view things. Um, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's just yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me why they would open up with them. Um, I will say this. So that game was a pretty good game though. I mean, despite that, it still was a good game. Iowa ends up pulling it out 24-21. Um, Avery Johnson for Kansas State played a pretty phenomenal game. Played a really good game. Um, he was 21 for 30, 273 yards. Had two touchdowns. That was pretty good. The Iowa State quarterback, uh, Rocco Burchett. I don't know how to say that. He was 14 for 28. He only had 183 yards, but he also threw for two touchdowns. It was just that was just a good game. I'm not gonna lie about the game itself. The game was a good game. So I wasn't overly upset about that. I just still just don't understand why they'd had K State and Iowa State opening up in Ireland. It would have been so much better if it would have been Notre Dame playing somebody in Ireland. Like that'd have been great. That'd have made sense. Finding Irish playing in Ireland. But that being said, still overall it was a good game. And K State came back in the fourth quarter to make it a game. Because they scored. Iowa scored first in the first quarter. They scored a touchdown in the first quarter. K State scored a touchdown in the second quarter. It was 7-7, and then Iowa State scored in the third quarter. Shutout, and that third quarter really was pretty much the third and the first quarter was pretty much the deciding factor. Or if K State could at least got a score in either first or third quarter, then maybe we're looking at overtime. Or if they scored in both quarters, then maybe they walk out with a win. But because they got shut out in those two quarters, that's what was the ultimate deciding factor in that. That was the first game, college football there going on. Did you have any thoughts on that game?
I actually didn't even know that game was going on. I wish I
Yeah,
would have.
yeah. They played in Ireland. I don't remember what time the game was, and it doesn't say on here what time that game actually was, but it was in Ireland. So I'm pretty sure it was a crazy freaking time start for the rest of us in America. Um, but yeah, it's like I said, that was one of the games that were going on. So we've got a pretty jam packed schedule going on. So Thursday, you've got Boise State playing against UFC. I mean, sorry, USF. Oh, Lord Jesus. They play Thursday 4:30 p.m. on ESPN. Friday, you can check out on Peacock. You got WIU versus Illinois at Illinois over on Peacock. And then Saturday is where it's happening, brother. Saturday's where it's happening. Okay. So to get this game starting off with college football on Fox. Number one, Texas Longhorns are taking on the number 3, Ohio State Buckeyes. That's at 11 a.m. They're playing in Ohio State. Also starting around that same time is Syracuse and Tennessee playing in Tennessee on ABC. And then we'll get into some other games that maybe not so much noteworthy I'm not saying noteworthy, but I probably won't be watching them.
No.
We got Indiana playing against Old Dominion. That's at 1:30. At 2:30, you got Penn State playing against Nevada. And then you got Georgia at 2:30 also playing against Marshall over on ESPN. And then Alabama plays also at 2:30. They're playing Florida State. So that's a game I'm looking to watch. Because that's gonna be for me for Florida State, it's gonna be a test of how good they can be. Because even in a loss, I think depending on how they play, depending on how they lose, can still shape the rest of their season. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Even if they lose, they still got something to prove because they did all that talking. So that means that they got a reason for doing all that talking.
Yeah,
They
and then
they
it's
can they can definitely back it up.
yeah, and then Saturday is jam packed with games, my man. That's jam packed. Like I said, Alabama and Florida State are playing in Florida State. ABC on Fox, you got South Dakota playing against Iowa State at 2:30. At 3 o'clock, you got who is this?
Oregon
Oregon
versus
and
what is that? Mountain State,
is it Mountain State? Montana State.
Montana State.
Yeah. So you got Oregon playing against Montana State at 3. At 5, you got I think it's Illinois State. Yeah, Illinois
Against
State playing
OU.
against Oklahoma Sooners at 3. That's on BTN. Fall, and then you also have Long Island University, the Sharks playing against Florida Gators. Oh, who's going to eat who? Um,
Come on now, the Gators got that.
yeah, you got them. They got that. But they're playing that game. Then you have K State looking to try to bounce back from their loss. They're going against North Dakota, the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. They're playing at 6 p.m. And then we have UT. Is that the University of Texas, South Carolina, or or San Antonio? That is, yeah. Interesting story about them. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that in a second. And they're playing against Texas A&M Aggies. They're playing at 6 p.m. Now, the UTSA, right? University of Texas, San Antonio. I actually, coming out of junior college, I actually had an opportunity to play for them, but it was before because they weren't Division One. They hadn't been Division One that long. Um, well, I say that long. I graduated from junior college in '99, so 99, I think, is when they went up when they moved up to Division One. So originally, I'd gotten an offer from Kansas Wesleyan, which is up in Salina, Kansas, McPherson College, which is where I ended up settling to go to. Um, but I also had um, I had an offer to go down there, play pickup ball with them, do a school visit and all that stuff. Well, I ended up not going. Um, and I was like, I was just gonna go ahead and settle for McPherson College, blah blah blah. Ended up signing for them, right? Well, I signed for them because, and here, let me tell you something, fellas, all you guys out there watching, anybody's out there watching, and even ladies, never base your decision on, especially when it comes to school. If you're that age, or if you're a parent, never allow your child to base their age or their decision on where they're going to go to school, based on you as a parent. Number one, that this didn't happen with me. This has nothing to do with my parents. And never let them have it. Never let them base their decision on if they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend of being close to each other. Never allow that to happen. Have them make sure they're making the decisions that's best for them. What's going to be best for them? If they're doing well in sports, then go to the program that's going to give them the best chance. If it's an education, if they're more education driven, go to school that's a great school, top notch school, or the best school for them, the best fit for them at the time. Never allow them to make this decision based on anybody else outside of them. Okay. Now I say that because the simple fact was, at first I was kind of like, hey, you know what? I'll just go to school that's a little bit closer, so that way my parents can still come watch me play. This and that. And then of course I was told very quickly, yeah, don't worry about that. We'll come watch you play wherever you're at. All right, that's cool then. Well, I decided to base it on, like an idiot, the girl I was dating at the time. But we end up getting married. Later divorced. Um, but still, we got married. But I based that decision. Um, because at the time, when when we were in school together, I was a year old. I was a year ahead of her. And so she had one more year there. And she was a track athlete, phenomenal track athlete. So I decided to go to the McPherson College, right? Kansas. That following year, right? Because they needed a point guard. They needed a point guard, Hydro. And they were trying to get me, but I decided to stay in Kansas like an idiot instead of go to San Antonio like an idiot. Following year, they make it to the NCAA tournament, and the guy that they had running the point for them ended up losing the game. They almost won out of the first round, and he ended up losing the game. That was the same guy I had played against, and I was destroying him. So when you talk about things like when I talk about things in my life that could have been, that's one thing I always think about. Like I could have, I might have had. I'm not gonna say I'd had a different path. I still think I'd have chose the path I would have went on was going on regardless.
Right.
I had no aspirations of trying to make it to the NBA, let alone dreaming of being in the NBA. I knew I was gonna be in the NBA. But I loved the game, I loved playing, and I wanted to play as long as I could. And then figure out what I was gonna do after that. Was gonna be coaching or anything else like that. Ended up joining the military, worked out beautifully, and ended up falling back into coaching anyway. So it all worked out. But that's one thing I always think about, man. When it comes to this, is like, dang, I could at least said I had played in the NCAA tournament. You know what I'm saying? NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could have said I at least had an opportunity to help lead my team to a second round berth in the NCAA. Dude, every time I think about that, boy, I look at my ex, boy. I'm like, ooh, what, ooh. It's just, it's one of those ones. Just kind of like, man, if I just would have just did what I should have done and just listened and just went for what was been the best option for me. It could have been pretty cool. But I mean, that's neither here or there. All right, so yeah, that was my little Birdman rant on that. But they're still like, dude, we're not even. That's the one thing I love about college football. There is so much football on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Like it's jam packed. Like basically from 10 o'clock in the morning. Actually, now if you think about the college shows that go on, you're talking about from 8 o'clock in the morning until roughly about 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. It's football, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
It is freaking unbelievably beautiful. I love it. There's a lot of jam-packed games going on. I think that for me, what's going to cap it off for this college weekend is going to be Sunday's 6:30 spot on ABC, and that is not that. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
What the hell?
That's the game. That's the tickets for the game. It's the tickets for this game, which is did it start me all the way over?
Yeah, it started all over again.
What the devil?
What the hell? What the hell, Yante?
Yeah. All right. Get off of here.
It's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well.
It's just like the Birdman show. This is what you have. Okay, Birdman Sport. Anyway, Sunday's capper for football this weekend is going to be Notre Dame taking on the Miami Hurricanes in Miami. That to me is going to be the culmination of what's going on here. And so I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Let's see what he's talking about.
8% of his passes. There's a mastery of the offense that has come in a short period of time. Remember, because of that arm, he wasn't able to part in spring ball actively. But because Miami has such a good offensive line, there's expected to be a pretty good easing in of Carson Beck. And look, they're expecting him to play consistently. He's not going to have some of the same dynamism as Cam Ward, but Shannon Dawson's offense at Miami is very quarterback friendly, and Beck clearly has the arm talent to spray the ball around to Miami's weapons. So far, heading into this Notre Dame game, they like what they have in Coral Gables.
Yo, first of all, I don't like him saying spreading anything around to people. Like that just don't even sound right. I don't like his voice. I don't like his voice at all.
Nah.
I don't like his voice at all. You don't look like he should be talking about sports at all. It looks like he should be preparing somebody for their taxes.
Yeah, the Miami Hurricanes picked up a weapon, bro, with Carson Beck.
Yeah. And that's what like I said, that's what to me makes Miami dangerous. Now, like he did say though, there's gonna be a learning curve for him. You know what I'm saying? Him coming in, but still, I still think that's a very dangerous team. I'm be honest with you. There's a team I'm look. Wow, they're talking about him too right now. I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith though. He's been irritating me. Um, I don't want to hear him. I'm gonna stop sharing. I don't want to see him on the screen. He's been irritating me. I love Stephen A. Smith, but there's only so much you can take of somebody after a
Yeah,
while of just
honestly.
hearing him. And the let me say this so I can get it. I can just get it out of my mind and out of my spirit. Like the things he's been saying about LeBron James is just idiotic. And I'm not saying that Stephen A. Smith doesn't know basketball. You know, anybody's been around something for a long period of time, you're gonna pick up some things. But you never played. I mean, heck, he played in college. I think they say he played in college, but he averaged on like 2 points or something like that. Dude, I played college ball. I was averaging 15. So if you want to talk about that, I know more than he does. But at the same time, what I'm saying is like I get tired of this whole the GOAT debate when it comes to it. I love Michael Jordan, but I say I'm not a huge fan. I've never thought Michael Jordan was the GOAT. I've never thought Michael Jordan was the GOAT. Michael Jordan doesn't even come up on my radar when it comes to the GOAT.
Nah.
People always talk about, Michael Jordan, he's impacted the game. He did not impact the game more than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He didn't even come close to impacting the game. When you talk about Michael Jordan, if you're going to talk about the GOAT of anything, you're talking about impact, what they've done for the game, their whole culmination of their career. Michael Jordan has done nothing for anybody other than himself. Nothing. I love him. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. But when you talk about the game itself, he's done nothing for the game unless it's benefited him. Now, when I look at and scandal wise, why he left the NBA the first time he retired, why he left it the second time, he's been involved in scandal after scandal when it comes to stuff like that. Now, the one thing I'll say about LeBron, you know what I'm saying, when I look at him, I'm gonna tell you one thing. One of the things that I look at if I had to say he was my GOAT, there's one thing I can look at when it comes to LeBron James. You know what that is? He is the only NBA player that has been listed at all 5 positions. He's the only NBA player that at all 5 positions has had a Hall of Fame career.
Sheesh.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. People always say, "Oh, well, Michael Jordan he was 6-0 in the finals. He only made it 6 times." He made the play. He was 1-9 in the playoffs before Pippen got there. 1-9 in the playoffs. He never even sniffed the finals.
No, did he?
And it wasn't for the fact that they brought in Phil Jackson, they still, even with Pippen, I still don't think they win. I still don't think they're winning championships. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Michael was still trying to be Michael. It took Phil Jackson coming in and saying, "No, we're putting in the triangle offense. This is the system we're putting in, and you're running it." Because it was still pulling teeth trying to get him to run that. But finally, when he saw how successful it was, and he finally bought into it, they started to win because it was a great system. Which brings me to my final point. Michael Jordan is a great system player. Because without a system, he couldn't lead his team to a playoff victory. LeBron James has never played in a system. LeBron James has never played for a Hall of Fame coach. The closest one you can say is Eric Spoelstra. That's it. But he's never played for a Hall of Fame coach. People always talk about, well, LeBron James he's had way more help than Michael Jordan has. No, he hasn't. He played with 9 number one draft picks. Once again, look at the picks. The only 2 number 1 draft picks that he's ever played with that actually did anything of any type of thing that have really made an impact for him playing and winning were Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis. That's it.
Mm.
All the rest of them, you're gonna talk about Shaq. Okay. He got Shaq on Shaq's farewell tour of getting all the money he can from any NBA team that he wanted. That was on his farewell tour. He was on a downward spiral from there. Greg Oden, really, he averaged what 2.5 points playing with him. Andrew Bogut he played with Andrew Bogut for 20 seconds before Andrew Bogut ended up getting hurt. He was out for the rest of the season. Like Joe Smith, seriously, seriously, Joe Smith sounds like somebody who was just unalive, and he's laying in the coroner's office and they have no name for him.
Ah. Stupid, bro.
I try to keep a straight face with that one, but
Ah.
but for real, that's what I felt like, man. Like when I look at that, that's what I felt like. What did Amber say? About to go to work, can't be there tonight though. Oh, hey, no problem, sis. Hey, you go, hey, go make that money. All right, love you. And you already know you can always catch the replay. And hey, we'll definitely be back for the recap tomorrow. But when you talk about the people that he's played with, he hasn't played, like I said, outside of Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and then when they end up bringing in Ray Allen, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Kevin Love, and you're talking about all those players I just named off. Those are two totally different teams. They are all on the same team. And then you got to remember that year they could have probably won against Golden State. They ended up losing because Kevin Love got hurt in the first round against Boston on that seemingly dirty play by Kelly Olynyk. He ends up going out against Boston, and then Kyrie ends up getting hurt. I want to say it was in the semifinals. I think it was a semifinal. So it was LeBron James and Matthew Dellavedova. If you were going to tell me that Matthew Dellavedova was going to be the second best scorer, helping LeBron James try to lead the Cavs to a finals victory, I would have slapped you and your whole family. If someone came up with something like, first of all, that's stupid. But he did. I mean, LeBron drugged that team to the finals and put up a fight. It wasn't much of a fight. I mean, they had nobody left, but they still were there and they still were competing every night. And they were in those games, majority of those games. So to me, that's what I look at. Like I said, I love Michael Jordan. I think he's a great player. Always will be. But when you talk about GOAT status, when you really look at it, number one, what I do is I take out my personal feelings about whatever the team, whoever the player is. I take my personal feelings out. I don't care who I like to watch. I love watching Michael Jordan. Love watching him play. Love it. Love him to death. But I love Allen Iverson more. Allen Iverson to me was a heck of a more exciting player than Michael Jordan ever would be.
Oh yeah,
what he could do. So to me, Allen Iverson. And if you want to talk about favorite players to watch play, Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, love me some Carmelo, Nate Robinson, Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway. Who else? Jason Williams with the Sacramento Kings. Jay Will there, White Chocolate. That was my boy. Let me White Chocolate, whatever. No homo. No Diddy. But
hey, yo.
after I said, I was like, oh wait, pause. But yeah, Jason Williams. Golly, I'm trying to think of some other great players I really loved watching. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. Those are the type players, you know what I'm saying, and D-Wade, of course. Those are the players I love watching. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean any of those players I just named are the greatest players of all time. Like I said, when I look at the greatest players of all time, it's like, okay, what categories you lead in? All right, when you talk about championships, Bill Russell. Okay, points used to be Kareem, but he got surpassed by LeBron, which he also did on less field goal attempts, which is also crazy to me. He's a leading scorer. It took him less shots to pass Kareem, but people keep saying that Michael Jordan's a better scorer. Michael Jordan has a much better jump shot. His mechanics are great. His form is beautiful, impeccable. Same with Kobe's, because Kobe copied Michael Jordan's. Just beautiful. But if you talk about all-around scoring, you can't say Michael Jordan's a better scorer than LeBron James because he has no point. He doesn't have the points to prove it. And you might say, "Oh well, he retired," but he was only gone for what 2 seasons total. Michael couldn't. His body couldn't stand. He couldn't keep up with it. And a lot of it. And I will say this: I do 100% believe this though. If Michael Jordan had the work ethic as far as taking care of his body that LeBron James has, Michael Jordan by far would be the GOAT because of everything he could do. But Michael Jordan physically could not. He just couldn't. He was getting beat all. That's another thing that got me was that he got beat up. He was getting beat up by the Detroit Pistons, the Celtics, the Lakers. He's getting beat up by every single team in the NBA when he first got in there. Michael Jordan was not a dominant player when he first got in there. People always keep talking about, oh, he scored this. He's got the highest playoff game. You know, they show him going through legs, between legs, and then shooting a jump shot over Larry Bird, this, that. But you remember that part, but you forget that he got swept. That same series, he got swept. Just out the door. You know what I'm saying? You can't. That's what I think that's the thing that irritates me the most when it comes to the whole the GOAT debate there, Hydro, is the fact that people always they dismiss Jordan's first part of his career, and they only concentrate on the 6 years that he won.
Absolutely.
That's all. They talk about, oh, well, he's got 10 scoring titles. He's the best. He's led the team. He's got 10. Like that's but he number one, he doesn't have near as much points as LeBron James. He didn't have near as much points as Karl Malone. Now think about that for a second. Jordan beat Karl Malone in the Jazz twice in the finals, and people don't really talk about that. But Karl Malone has more points, career points, than Michael Jordan.
That's something to think about.
I mean, Jordan's such a great scorer. Karl Malone didn't even have a 3-point shot. Michael Jordan developed a 3-point shot later, and still doesn't have come close to having as many points as Karl Malone.
Sheesh.
So we ain't even gonna talk about Kareem because he never even sniffed where Kareem was at. So I mean that's just what it is. What's up, Angel? Angel in the house. God dang, I always do that. Angel in the house. She said, "What's up, Shane?"
What's goody?
Yeah. So we're just on here doing the Birdman Sports show. We're just doing this. I'm about to get off here in a little bit because Lord Jesus, I need to get me something to drink. We got the Birdman show. We got the Women's Mental Health coming up. Yeah. So, but yeah. So, like I said, when it comes to that debate, and I can talk that all day long. Once again, number one, it boils down to this: it's personal opinion. All of it's personal opinion. And people who criticize LeBron James like, oh, he's only he may have made it to 8 straight finals, but he only won 4 of them. Those are the same people who've never even either played basketball, never played at the level that LeBron James has ever played at, or played at that level and still never even got close to getting to the final. Like, my thing is, it's all about who's really doing the talking. I don't pay attention to people like Stephen A. Smith or anybody else that's on here, even doing podcasts. They're talking about, oh, yeah, Michael Jordan's always going to be the GOAT. No, I don't pay attention to none of y'all because none of y'all have ever done it. The fact that being able just to get there. Think about this. I think in the last 7 years, I want to say it's last 7 seasons. I could be wrong, but I think in the last 7 seasons we've had 7 different NBA champions. Last 7 years, 7 different. You understand? You understand what that means? That means the ones that won it still were not able to get back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So to be the leader of a team that went to 8 straight, and you're taking teams that didn't have anybody that was on those rosters. Like I said, look at the rosters LeBron. Look at the roster that LeBron had in those finals he was making. In the finals that he made it against, the first final, I think he made it. They played against was it the Lakers?
It
No,
had to have been.
I don't know if it was. I don't remember who it was. But if you look at any of those rosters, you can barely name more than 3 people off of any of those rosters he had in his first 8 years in Cleveland. You can barely name them. The main name that anybody can name off those rosters, Shaquille O'Neal. That's it. And that was at his end of his career. Shaq was not Shaq. Shaq was Shaqing the fool when he got to Cleveland. Like, he was not Shaq. You know what I'm saying? He was more like a shed. He was
Ugh.
what I'm saying, Shaq was not the dominant Shaq that he was. And I love Shaq. And people talk about Shaq. Shaq's the most dominant center Shaq was the biggest center at the time.
Yeah.
So that made him dominant. But when you look at what that position really actually held as far as who was dominant, Wilt Chamberlain by far takes that cake. I'm sorry.
Definitely.
Wilt Chamberlain. It was having triple doubles. He had a quadruple double. He's the only recorded player that was able to actually block Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook. He's the only one that's ever done it. He's the only one that's ever stopped it.
Sheesh.
I say, I'm sorry. And then, like I said, you talk about Bill Russell there. 11 out of 13. Come on. 11 out of 13. That's all I gotta say with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a Celtics fan, but it is what it is.
Oh, here we go.
Greatest franchise of NBA history.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
But yeah, that's just my take. Like I said, when it comes to people when they talk about this stuff, like I said, it's always a telltale sign when they start spitting all this crap when it comes to Michael Jordan. It's not that I'm gonna say they don't know basketball, but you don't know how to look at basketball outside of how you feel. And I'll say this, Shane, we're gonna close. I'll say this. When it comes to talking about the GOAT bait, this is the only time I can see men using girl math. You see grown men turn into women, and they use girl math, and none of the math adds up.
Not at all.
Would you, if you can
don't.
seriously remove yourself and what you feel and what you think from the situation, and actually look at what actually the careers are and what they've done, there's no way you can deny LeBron's greatness. Now, when it comes to me, I don't think there is a GOAT. There is not the greatest of all time. There were great players in different eras.
Great players of their time.
Yeah. And I say, as long as you look at it that way, it doesn't matter. Michael Jordan, I would say at the end of Michael Jordan's era, he was the GOAT. He was not the GOAT when he was playing.
No.
Because he never beat the Celtics. The Detroit Pistons was beating him. It took at the end of Isaiah and Dumars and all those guys, Mark McGuire, was some of I can't remember, Bill and Beer. They were at the tail end of their careers. All those guys were hurt. They retired shortly after that, if not the next year. They were done. So he beat them. Okay, cool. They were done. Still never beat the Celtics. Even would have beat up Bird, Kevin McHale. He did never beat them. You talk about the Lakers, who he won his first NBA championship against. It was just Magic Johnson, and he was retired. He retired the following year. They were done. He beat those guys. He beat those guys as they aged out.
Right.
Okay. And then if you talk about the other teams he played against the Sonics. He played against the Trailblazers, the Suns with Barkley, and then he also played against the Jazz twice. So on those teams right there, the Jazz are the only team that even remotely, I think, was a team that would give Jordan fits. The other teams, the Suns, the Suns, the Blazers, and the Sonics. No, not really. Now the Blazers probably maybe close because of Drexler and the Drexler and Jordan matchup. Because Drexler used to give Jordan fits. He used to give Jordan fits. And people want to say that, but actually, do me a favor, people. Actually go back and watch the game. Don't watch highlights. Watch the game. Watch the games, and see how much Jordan actually struggled. And the fact that don't forget that there was one of those finals. I think it was against the. I think it was against either. I think it was against Portland. Well, Phil Jackson had to pull. He pulled Jordan out of the third quarter. He benched him on the third quarter. Pippen, Paxton, and the other guys brought the Bulls back. And then Phil Jackson had put Jordan in until towards the end of the fourth quarter to help seal the game. I haven't seen not one single person pull out LeBron James because he wasn't producing at all. Now people might say, "Oh, well, what about when he played against the Dallas Mavericks? His first chance of winning when he's in Miami. He played against a great team." People want to talk about how LeBron struggled. Even Tim Duncan, the great Tim Duncan, who I think is one of the greatest. He's one of the top 5 greatest power forwards of all time. He even said they were talking about, well, how you guys, LeBron James is struggling. He said LeBron James is struggling against us because all 5 guys are guarding him. He said it he said it at the end of the game, at the end of the post interview of one of the games. He said because all 5 of us are focusing on him. If we can keep him from getting off, we'll take our chances with everybody else. We cannot allow him to go off. It was the opposite when it came to the Bulls teams. Most teams are like, let Michael get his. Just don't let nobody else get theirs. Because they already know Michael's going to shoot. He's not really passing the ball. Everybody talk about, well, he made the pass to John Paxson. He made that pass to B.J. Armstrong when they hit those threes and this and that. He made that pass to John Paxson because he was stinking up the game in the fourth quarter of that game. Watch the freaking game. He was stinking the game up. He made that pass because I think it was like prior to that, the last 3 shots he took, or last 3 or 4 shots he took down there were horrible. And he made that pass because everybody sucked in. He had no choice to make the pass. At that moment, I felt like it felt like he lost confidence in himself. But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna get into that. That's a whole different subject for a whole different time. I gotta get out of here because we gotta get ready for the Women's Mental Health Part 2 episode. Like I said, that is tonight, right back here. Women's Mental Health, 6 p.m. It's a little over an hour and a half. Yeah, about over an hour and a half from now. So we'll be back right here for this Women's Mental Health. And then, of course, like I said, we'll have the recap tomorrow for that over on the Birdman Show, right back here on TikTok as well as YouTube. But that is right here, the Birdman Show recap tomorrow. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else you want to tell the good people before we get up out of here? They're Hydro. You're muted.
Oh, that was pretty fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. I did enjoy it. Heck, we did the whole thing without even doing a freaking commercial. I gotta get some commercials put in for this. But we'll get that. We'll get to that. But yeah, I don't have anything else. So, like I said, we'll see you guys here in about an hour and a half for the Birdman Show, Women's Mental Health episode. For Hydro, I'm your boy, the Birdman. This has been the Birdman Sports 247 podcast. More to come. We'll see y'all later. Birdman out.